Hey, my name is Jeff Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the potential for tenants moving into your properties if you're a landlord before you've even received any payment. Now, this comes from an article that Knight Frank, the big agent that you see in London and in the surrounding areas, now, they have looked into the Renters' Rights Bill. We've done lots of content on the channel about that over the last week or so. And the Renters' Rights Bill has a part in there where landlords aren't able to take payments up front. Now, we're going to talk about what this means and potentially why this could be a bad loophole that needs to get sorted before the bill actually goes active. Because I'm a landlord, I wouldn't want anyone moving in without paying, and I'm sure you wouldn't either if you were a landlord. So let's talk about this and why this could be a mistake in the bill, and hopefully it gets rectified, but it could have severe consequences if it doesn't. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over here and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 36,000 subscribers. We'll hit that at some point this week, but you could help us get there a little bit quicker. And let's get some more views on this video because I want people to be aware of this potential pitfall in the bill because the more it's highlighted, the more likely it is to get resolved. So smash like or tickle like, do something to that like button. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm and that will get this awareness out there. So, the Renters' Rights Bill, controversial. Let's get rid of that pen, that's not great. There we go. The Renters' Rights Bill. Now, this is something we have talked about in detail. I've got a video on the channel that's more than 30 minutes where we deep dive into that. And if you are a tenant or a landlord, or you just want to know more about how this bill impacts people, then do click on the description below. I'll put a link to our ebook that hundreds and hundreds of you took with all the details on the Renters' Rights Bill. But in summary, what is the Renters' Rights Bill? Well, the Renters' Rights Bill is something that's going to introduce periodic tenancies. So what that means is they're just going to be rolling. And so rather than having a 6-month tenancy or a year tenancy, that's going to be something that they're going to add into that. There's going to be rent controls in there. So if you increase the rent, that can get challenged with tribunals. That's something that worries a lot of landlords and will make them potentially quit. Grounds for possession was one of the bigger parts of the bill. Labour want to get the headline out there that they're abolishing Section 21, which is a no-fault eviction. The bill proposes that that will be abolished, but the new version of it is pretty much identical. There are lots of grounds that you can get your property back, and it's not really that much difference. The only thing is that you can't have a no-fault eviction, so you need to pick something from the list, which is something along the lines of the landlord needs to, or their family needs to live in the property. The landlord wants to sell the property, you need to redevelop or do some major works to the property, the tenant that the contract's with has passed away, rent arrears, and antisocial behaviour. So that is pretty much very similar to what we've got. But the bill is more about tenant protections. It also has things for compensation. So definitely grab the ebook if you want to know more about that. You could get fined potentially a lot of money, even if you ask a tenant to leave and then they found out that you didn't want to sell the property or something like that. You've got to consider pets. That's important as well. But this part that what we want to talk about today that Knight Frank have highlighted is that you can't take payments up front. And so until the tenant signs the tenancy agreement, you can't take any payments of deposits or rent. Now, what that means is that the tenant signs the tenancy agreement in this scenario, they get access to the property right away, and then you would then look to get your rent and your deposit and stuff like that. Now, if there was a delay, maybe the payment was delayed, or you had a tenant from overseas that took a while to transfer you the money, you could legally, in this scenario, have a tenant moving into your property and you didn't get any payment. Now, once they're in, and if they stop paying or don't pay, then you could get real problems here. And this is something that's included in the bill, but I think they need to have some sort of flexibility on this. I don't think that any landlord that is asking for rent up front, a few days up front, is going to cause any problems for anyone. And remember this, right? A lot of tenancies, when they start, they can be quite quick because a landlord's got an empty property. They want a tenant quickly. And the tenant's scenario on why they need the property, something major might have happened and they need to move into that property quickly as well. Maybe they've separated from a partner and they need a property quite quickly. So if there's a way that you can get this done, get paid and get the tenant in, then great. But in this scenario, it's not so great. And I don't think that a landlord ensuring that the rent is in the estate agent's bank before they release keys, like it's done now, is a problem for anybody. I don't see anyone really complaining about having to pay rent in order to get the keys. That's just how it's been historically. The bill here is about protecting tenants. I absolutely think that's right and fair and just, and it should happen. But this part of the bill, this is a little bit that just needs to be re-looked at, reworded, rejigged, because right now, if you gave the tenancy agreement, you signed it, it became active, they would then be able to get the keys. If you did take the payment early as an estate agent or as a landlord, you could get fined for that. It's a small technicality that is in this bill. Now, normally you think, okay, they'll sort this out. Of course they'll sort it out. But some of the stuff that you're seeing in these bills at the moment and the way the government is acting does worry people. And they do think this is something that could be left in that bill and cause all sorts of problems. The bill is going through Parliament. It is something that I think will go through this year in 2025. I don't think you're going to see lots of delays on this. I think you are going to see some arguments from landlords trying to make it a little bit fairer on their part, but I don't think they're going to get much ability to slow this down or stop this bill going through. And I don't think there will be many amendments. I think it will go quite quickly. And the reason I say that is the last reading of the bill, 400 MPs voted that they were happy with it as it was, and that went through, and 100 wanted amendments. So the majority of people in the Houses of Parliament are happy with this, and it is going through quite quickly. It's not even close. So I thought I'd bring that to your attention. If you are a landlord, that's the point of this channel. If you're a tenant as well, you want to know what's going on, do subscribe to the channel just so you know everything that's going on in the market. And do like the video, grab that renters' rights book. It's good to have that so you've got all the details on that. And as new stuff happens, we'll update that as well. Do check out all the other content on my channel as well, including this video right here.